Hello, welcome to Zombie Beach.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America and all ships at sea. It's another edition of Zombie Beach Podcast. My name is Dan Ledbetter, your humble host, and with me, as always, my good friend, cohort, and compatriot in crime, Jerry Davis, who just woke up.
Oh, how do you do a zombie grunt? Like that?
Well, that's more like a Chewbacca
I
grunt.
know. It comes out Chewbacca with me.
I know. You know, that's the funny thing about, like, I've been watching, The Walking Dead, obviously, and like zombie movies, and there seems to be a variation on the zombie sound. Like sometimes it's more of a kind of noise, like almost like somebody gargling without mouthwash, and sometimes it's more of like I don't even know what you would call it. More like a guttural exhale, and then sometimes it's more like moans, like.
Then you hear brains.
No, which is a funny thing about that whole the brains thing. I mean, that actually started with the absolutely fantastic 1984 film, The Return of the Living Dead. I should call it a comedy horror.
Yeah,
but that's where the whole brains thing came from, because zombies actually, truth be told, according to the more now accepted George Romero zombies, they just eat people. They eat flesh.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I personally have not seen any zombies eat brains. Well, I guess I've never actually seen any zombies. So I guess that kind of threw that one out of the window.
I don't know. I think we see zombies all the time. We just don't know they're zombies.
Actually, that's true. Whenever I see a group of kids walking somewhere and they're looking down at their cell phones, I go, well, the apocalypse happened.
Oh, dear, that means I'm a zombie, too.
I know. I was just going to say, yes, present company included. So, dude, I have to say this. By the time this goes to... I was going to say by the time this goes to press, but that's a magazine term.
Yeah, you could say it.
By the time this goes to press, the Walking Dead season finale has already ended for this year, and let me just say this about that. Did you happen to catch the finale?
No, I haven't seen any. I told you how long it's been since I've actually watched it.
I know. This is killing me though, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. But
don't worry about it. I don't care if it gets spoiled.
But at the same time, it's absolutely incredible. I mean,
so it's getting better then.
I've
had a lot of people just I no matter where I go, who I talk to, I hear all about Walking Dead. I hear all about Game of Thrones. I know half the things that are going on, even though I've never watched it.
So think of the money you're saving
I know.
by not having cable.
I'll just wait until it's all ready for me to consume all at once, and then I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. The last half of this season kind of went. I mean, we had this big climactic build-up to the season break, and then when it came back, it was really kind of this very slow, introspective journey, basically giving a lot more depth and backstory to most of the characters. So it was a little bit slow. I will say that there were parts that were incredibly slow. Some were really in depth, and I thought they were brilliant. But then, man, I'll tell you what, the last episode just ramped it up to about 13.
Oh, wow.
Like there was some crap going on that, I mean, my wife and I were sitting there on the couch watching TV, and like our jaws just like dropped open, like, holy crap, did you see that? It was like absolutely insane. So I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to see it, because I really think you would really enjoy it.
I'll see it at some point, but it's not going to be any time in the near future.
So check back with us, listeners, in 2017.
Yeah.
When Jerry finishes the entire series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Speaking, do you binge watch?
I do when I had been up until recently binge watching like Star Trek, all the Star Treks I'd never seen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now, are you all caught up on those?
No, I'm not, because I stopped watching TV again. My daughter is binge watching American Horror Story, and I've been catching it. And
that's really good too.
Really, really liking the Coven.
Yes,
Coven episode.
Yes.
But and I want to touch upon that, but I don't want to break your train of thought there.
But that train already derailed, so I'm on to something else. So
sorry.
It's all right. It stopped at a station, but I'm willing to go on another track for sure. So what do you think about American Horror Story?
This one touches us personally.
Oh.
I mean, you've been watching Coven?
I've watched all of them. I think it's pronounced Coven.
Coven, sorry.
Like a coven of witches.
I always said Coven for some reason.
Coven, I don't know. It's one of
those, the problem with someone who reads a lot but never hears it out loud.
Oh. No, I hear you.
It's like my niece used to call mosaics mosaics. She had the same problem. She never heard it.
That's pretty funny, actually.
So, but I should know Coven.
Yes. Coven sounds like a pastry you'd order at Mimi's Cafe or something.
In fact, I think I've had 2 of them last week.
I had 2 cream-filled Coven.
2 cream-filled.
So.
Wow.
So now, have you watched all of the?
No, I've just caught parts of them.
Okay.
On and off through the season.
Right.
But there is a character in there named Misty Days.
Yes.
Who reminds me? Let's go ahead and talk about her. She reminds me so much of Jeanette.
Yes.
That it is spooky. That like the first time I saw her, I was like talking to my daughter, saying that she's almost exactly like someone that my friend Dan and I knew very, very well.
Yes. Like, and all the way down to the mode of dress and the way she
idolized Stevie Nicks, the whole thing.
Yes, which was very funny when they brought Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, they bring Stevie Nicks out and introduce her. Now I don't know actually what happens after that point, because I walked in and I saw that and went, okay, that's interesting.
Well, I won't tell you then, because you really do need to watch it.
I will. I probably will. I'll just have my daughter.
You need to stop watching shows and then stopping. Because you're killing me.
I'm sorry.
Because it's like I want to talk to you about it. Go, oh, well, I stopped at this point. Oh, my God.
Well, you know what? You can go ahead and tell me, because I'll just have my daughter fill me in anyway, and it's the listeners who we care about.
Well, that's true. And they probably have already seen it.
They probably have already seen it, and they're just going, I'm not
going to tell you, because you have to see it, because the plot gets so complex and really takes some big twists and turns. It's actually really really cool.
I think it's really cool how they use the same actors and actresses every season in different roles. It's really like a play.
That. Yes, I really like that. Now I will give it's not so much of a spoiler, because one of the main producers of the show tweeted this, but the next American Horror Story is going to be called Freak Show.
Oh, yeah. Jesse was telling me about that. It's all about Carnival.
Yes. So that should be quite fun. And it's Jessica Lange's last season.
I bet they're going to have a Pinhead.
Oh, they'll have it. Well, they had a Pinhead in
that's
the
right.
second one.
That's right. I saw that.
Maybe they'll bring her back.
Because I was pointing her out to Jesse going, that's a Pinhead. And she's like, I know, Dad.
Don't you hate it when kids are smarter than you?
Yeah. I don't know if she knows anything about Zippy the Pinhead and how obsessed we were with him.
Oh, probably not. She's very, very sad.
Were you? Yeah, okay.
I remember all of the comics that you had.
Oh, okay. She read all my old Zippy the Pinhead comics.
Oh, okay. Well, then she's all caught up.
Yeah, and I took him to Berkeley, and up and down Telegraph Avenue, just kind of showing him the old neighborhood there.
Right.
Where we used to buy the Zippy the Pinhead and the Fat Freddy's cat and what a trip. And I love my kids. They loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Did they?
Yeah,
awesome.
They're definitely my kids.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is, dear listener, if you can take your kids out and show them stuff you were into and have them be into it, you have raised them right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So now you were talking about American Horror Story.
Yeah, when I saw Misty Days, and I was thinking of Jeanette.
Yes.
And then, like, that very night, you sent me that picture of Jeanette's daughter, who I didn't even know existed, and it looked just like Jeanette, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And so ever since then, I've been thinking about Jeanette.
Oh, wow.
And remembering how she was getting into witchcraft and all that stuff. I think we probably told some of the stories about the Ouija board incident.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We've covered that, haven't we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we went actually into great detail. In fact, I believe that they can get those episodes on iTunes. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. They all should be there. And if they're not there, they can be found on the website, because the earliest ones are all, they're all entombed
right.
on archive.org. So,
yes.
and when we finally do wrap this podcast up and put a bow on it and say goodnight to it, I'm going to put them all up there so they'll always be available.
They'll be there forever.
Forever, until even as we're wishing they wouldn't be there.
That's the scary part. It's like I'm waiting. I am waiting for the day, like 300 years from now, when like the next civilization unearths them and finds these podcasts, and they start to build their society based on what we've talked about.
Yeah.
God help us, is all I'm saying.
Some aliens are picking it up via satellite or something.
I know. It never goes out void, my friend. Never goes out void.
But, I mean, how weird was that?
Oh, yeah. No, that was really, really bizarre. I mean, it's so funny. It's like you know somebody for an extended period of time, and then they're out of your life for so long. And then, sadly, they pass away. And then it's like you see their kids and see the
resemblance,
similarities.
And it's like looking at a ghost.
Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, it's like she really looks like her mom. It was amazing.
I was seeing that there was... I feel so bad for Facebook stalking her, but I couldn't help it.
Right.
I mean, her pictures are all out in the open, and so I'm like going through them. And then we found a picture of Jeanette, which was wonderful. And I feel all the years we called her Fruit Bat, because she was kind of a fruit bat. And then we found out she had passed away, and I've been feeling horrible ever since then. I don't know. It's knowing that she's got this wonderful daughter and son. I think it's sons, and the family is happy, and you could tell she's happy with her dad. And her dad has always been the coolest guy.
Yeah, John's a great guy.
That makes me feel good. But I feel bad that Jeanette isn't able to see any of that. To see how she turned out and everything.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
Well, yeah. It's like we don't know. I mean, there's a big gap that's missing.
Yeah.
And we don't know what went on during that time.
Yeah.
So
we just got little hints.
I would have to imagine that she knew how great her kids were, because it wasn't super long ago. I mean, it was 2006.
And you can tell... I saw the couple of the comments and stuff. You could tell that her daughter doesn't seem to be bitter or anything against her mom. She seems to be quite proud of her.
No, in fact, I think she
was saying how proud she was to look like her.
Yeah, and like how she likes hearing stories about her mom and everything.
Really? Because I got a lot of them I could tell her.
Oh, you should totally friend her. You should friend her. Tell her that you were buddies.
She would totally think I was a creeper.
No, she would not. If she, well, let's put it this way: if she thinks you're a creeper, then good Lord, I would be the ultimate creeper.
Wait, so you've been telling her stories about Jeanette?
No. We just started, like, she posted something, and then I posted something, and then I friended her. But she said in one of her quotes that she likes hearing stories about her mom.
Oh, wow. Well, I can tell her how her mom talked me into writing bad checks to fund a trip down to, what was it, San Juan Bautista to visit Jason.
Yeah, you could do that. I'm sure the authorities would like to hear that story.
We could tell the story about how she made me stop the car one night, and she ran out and grabbed this hanging plant from some house's porch because she wanted it. And we get it home, and there's a bird nest in it with eggs. And she felt so horrible and crushed that she made me drive her back so she could sneak up and put it back where it was.
That's hilarious. That is so funny.
And I'll tell one more, because I know this is completely off the beaten track of zombies.
Right.
But we were talking about ghosts, in a way. She'd figure out a way to shoplift things at Home Depot, I think it was. I think it was a store before Home Depot, though. She would get what she wanted, and she'd go out into the yard in the back where all the lumber and things were and put it up against the fence. And then she'd come back that night, and she'd pull it out from under the fence and take it.
Oh, that's funny.
Well,
I didn't know any of that stuff. Huh?
Okay.
To any law enforcement officials in the Stockton area,
way past the statute of limitations, and we were teenagers.
That's good.
So she makes me take her back there, and she goes to get her loot, whatever it was she wanted for the house. Because she used to, remember, she would like wallpaper the walls with like aluminum foil and stuff.
Right.
And somehow make it look good. I mean, it really actually looked like it was supposed to be like that. But she comes back and she's laughing hysterically, and she's got this note, and the note says, "Dear thieves, we're really sorry, but we needed this stock, and so we had to put it back on the shelves. But you could come back any time and ask for it, and we'll make sure you get it."
Yeah, that's funny. That is hilarious.
Yeah, okay, enough of that. So what? Let's see. What have I've been reading Neil Gaiman finally. Reading American Gods.
No, I know nothing of that.
Oh, okay. He is a fantasy writer, but he also, he writes movies. He was the comic book author of Sandman.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's written, what movie? There was that movie where I think it was Robert De Niro played a sky pirate, and it took place in this world where there was this whole area surrounded by this round wall, and something, I think a star fell to Earth, and the star was this beautiful woman. Okay, that's not ringing any bells to you. Anyway,
No,
he wrote that one.
not.
He also is a big Doctor Who fan, and he's written some really good Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah.
And probably even the one that our friend was in. So, yeah, I was going to talk about that, but you don't know anything about it. So.
That is hilarious.
So why don't you talk about something that I have no idea anything about?
So here's what's at least what I have noticed, that there are a bunch of new horror films. Not that you're excited about that, but there's a bunch of new horror films. Like Oculus is coming on Friday. The Quiet Ones, Stage Fright.
Oh yeah, I've seen the trailer for Stage Fright.
Yeah, so the rest of this year looks like it may be a banner year for horror films. And plus, now, you saw the Purge, correct?
The Purge.
The Purge. Remember, it was like that one night a year that all murders legal.
No, but you told me about it, and I want to see it. I want to see that.
You better hurry, because in June, the sequel to The Purge called Anarchy is coming.
Oh, that's right down my alley.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know how good it's going to be, because, it's so difficult. You know how it is. It's like when big corporations sees that a movie did well, of course, they're going to bleed that franchise until it's...
I know. Then it's going to be Anarchy in Space, and then it's...
Right, exactly. The Purge in Space, and then it's all dead.
Yeah. The Purge versus Jason.
Yeah, exactly, right? No,
versus Alien.
Honestly, that just drives me crazy with all the reboots, and really, I just haven't seen anything that has made me sit up and go, wow, that is a really fresh take on a genre. You know what I mean? It's like if you look back over the course of history in film, like there have been defining moments where something came in and put a stake in, well, I was going to say stake in the ground, but stake in the heart of the genre that moved it in a direction, much like in 70, was it 77 or 78 when
Evil Dead?
No, well, not Evil Dead. I was going back with like Halloween, like with the slasher film, the slasher genre, which sparked, Michael Myers and then Jason Voorhees and that sort of ilk, and then Freddy Krueger came in and took it to a whole different level and reinvented the slasher genre and took it into that thing. And then the Blair Witch Project came in, put a stake in the ground with the whole first person movie thing, which I am so let me just say this.
You're sick of it?
I am so tired. I was tired of it after the first Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was actually tired of it after the first Blair Witch, to be honest. It's like in the theater I saw it, and I thought it was so brilliant. I just sat there at the end, and I was just like in awe. I thought, this is brilliant movie making. And then, of course, everybody and their mom jumped on that bandwagon to decide to make their own, first-person film. The only film, well, all right, there's two. So the only two films that I thought worked in that genre was Paranormal Activity, the very first one, and then one called crap. It's like it totally left my mind. It's when they go to the mental institution and get locked in, and then it becomes like
and they get stuck in a time loop thing.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
Yeah. I thought that was really good.
Jesse will know what it is. What's the one where they go into the mental thing to lock themselves in the mental thing? Is a parent.
No, it's not like
And they're trapped in their like time stretches. Grave.
Oh, Grave Encounters. Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounters. That's it.
Yeah. Yes. That was really good.
I actually
really
saw
enjoyed
that. Yeah.
But yeah, but there hasn't been anything that has redefined the genre, if you know what I mean. I mean, zombies have made a comeback, but nothing has. Zombies have been around forever, right?
Yeah.
But there's nothing really big that has changed the course of the horror genre, in my humble opinion. I'll say that, because we've seen zombies come back and forth, we've seen vampires come back and forth, we've seen werewolves come back and forth, we've seen slasher movies since the late 70s. So nothing has really came along that has changed the look of horror, and that's what I think is missing, and that's what I think is needed to happen. Somebody has to take a risk. One of these studios, and I'm sure it'll be an independent that does it.
Yeah, because in Hollywood, they've all decided that they have to spend X amount of money or the movie's not going to be a hit.
Right.
And then since they're spending X amount of money, everybody's terrified of making a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
And
because
so they won't take risks with it.
The stakes are so high, and that's what was so brilliant about the Blair Witch Project, because it was made for, what was it? It was made for $100,000?
I think it was under that.
I don't know, because I remember. Well, whatever. It was made for.
It was made for cheap.
Way less.
It was under $1 million.
And then they sold that, and then it grossed like $1 bazillion, and so that started the whole first-person camera thing, because you get a bunch of unknowns with a bunch of handhelds, and then you can add your special effects to the to the raw footage, and so you've cut your budget way down in that. But that's the problem. It's like they've oversaturated that market, and nothing's fresh and exciting anymore. So I really don't know. I'm kind of at a loss, because I'm tired of the period pieces, the darker psychological horror. I'm tired of those. I'm tired of the Blair Witch-esque films. I'm hoping, and this is just my own personal opinion, that somebody comes out with a throwback film to from the 50s, almost like The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant, so funny.
It was so
much
funny.
Fun. But I'm hoping somebody kind of restarts the B-movie genre, like giant bugs or giant spiders or giant something, but does it in a way that isn't campy, much like what they did with Piranha in 3D. Did you ever see that?
No, but I heard it was actually... Wait, I probably heard it from you. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it actually had some big-name people in it, and it was a good horror film. I mean, it was just really, really good. Better than like Eight-Legged Freaks, which was too campy. I mean,
I liked that, but...
I did too.
The one I really liked was Arachnophobia. That was kind of original, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. I mean, it was totally original, but that was how many years ago?
Yeah, that was back a long time. I was in Texas back then.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater, so yeah, so that tells you how long it was, because now mostly I watch stuff on Netflix or cable.
It seems that the really original stuff is coming from other countries. Like Japan was making some, and probably still is making some really, really original horror movies, even though they weren't they're still like ghost stories and stuff, but they put this, they put the weird Japanese twist into it.
Right.
And,
well, I don't know if they're doing anything anymore. Let's put it this way: I have not seen anything that revolutionary from Japan. I mean, The Ring obviously was amazing, and
and The Grunge.
The Grudge was...
Grunge. The Grunge. No, they came from Washington State.
That's right, the Kurt Cobain story.
Yeah, I think Kurt Cobain came back from the dead, and The Grunge.
But honestly...
there you go.
Kurt Cobain's zombie grunge movie. That's the new genre that we're missing.
Well, let's brainstorm a new genre.
Okay.
We could do that.
What are you thinking?
What's already been done? Aliens?
Aliens have been done.
Dinosaurs have been done.
Dinosaurs.
You could kind of consider Jurassic Park a horror story.
Yeah, kind of.
Well,
I'd lump it in there as a horror story.
Horror science fiction. Space ghosts.
Right.
Ghosts. Werewolves. Vampires.
Says it's a thriller.
Evil leprechauns.
Right.
I've seen some TV episodes where fairies are evil.
Yes. Well, now note this. Now, this is an interesting kind of segue into what we're talking about. Is note the amount of horror that is actually on TV now.
That's where the original stuff is starting to happen, I think.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, American Horror Story obviously is doing a very good job. There's one starting this Sunday on Showtime that I am actually really looking forward to. It's called Penny Dreadful.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's very much, now it's a period piece.
Yeah, you could tell.
Pardon?
You could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sherlock Holmes were Penny Dreadfuls.
Exactly. It's got that kind of Victorian vibe to it. But it's about the occult, and so I can't get the full gist of the story, but it looks like it's going to be pretty creepy. So since The Walking Dead's over, I'm setting my DVR for that
there you go.
For the rest of this. So it should be pretty good. I'm pretty excited by that. But I mean, there's that kind of thing going on that is really restoring my faith in the genre, and maybe it's going to start to dwindle from the big screen and go back to the small screen.
Well, they could afford taking chances on the smaller screen.
Right. I'm just wondering, and I'll throw this into the ring. My hope is that somebody comes out with a decent horror anthology. Like the Night Gallery. If they could redo Night Gallery and make it good.
Oh, yeah, huh.
And not cheesy like that one thing they had, what was it? Oh, my gosh. Tales from the Dark Side, which were pretty horrible. And the one where Henry Rollins was supposed to be like the Rod Serling type host, that was pretty horrible. But yeah, I think horror anthology is the way to go. What do you think?
I'm just trying to think. 'Cause, they tried to bring the Twilight Zone back again, and it only lasted 4 episodes.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of them. I guess it was pretty bad.
Yeah. That's the thing. I just think it's got to be done by a cable network, number one. And I am honestly sitting here thinking, the people who are making stuff happen right now is AMC. Like, they've got Mad Men, which is a brilliant show, very, very cutting edge, and it's a period piece. They've got, The Walking Dead. They've got all these great shows. And so I think they would be remiss in their duties if they didn't try to come out with some sort of horror anthology, in my opinion. Now, that's just my opinion, by the way. So, I don't have any other ideas on how to revive the genre, at least on the big screen.
Well, at least in a horror genre, you could try new ideas. And then some of those ideas could spark and then become their own show.
Right. Well, that's true.
I mean, that's where The Simpsons came from.
Right.
Who's putting out that show, Helix? Have you heard about that one?
Is that sci-fi?
Maybe it's sci-fi, because that looks horror. If it's sci-fi, it's horror sci-fi.
Right.
And it's all about genetic
I think it is. I think it is sci-fi. Wrong. I think it is sci-fi, actually.
Well, sci-fi has actually put out some good things, other than they came out with Sharktopus and
Sharknado.
Sharknado, and
which is awesome. Actually, see, now, remember we were talking about...
there's your B movies.
There's my B movies. My prayer has been answered by the Sci-Fi Channel. And what was it? Arachnalanche?
No.
Oh, yeah, dude. The list goes on and on. I don't know why I haven't submitted an idea.
You should.
I want to do one about, because this is based on truth, about the angry feral chihuahuas that have been invading this Arizona town. Have you read that in the paper?
No, I haven't.
Dude, there's all these feral chihuahuas that are going around terrorizing people, chasing them and just getting all aggro. So I think maybe Chihuahua Lanch is going to happen, or Chihuahua, like a tsunami, but Chihuahua. I think that'll be my next one. I'm gonna pitch that to the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, what else? In sci-fi, actually it's already old in sci-fi, but there's this thing called the cacophony. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And that's when some company or government builds self-replicating nanobot machines that are the size of molecules or something, and they go nuts and they start turning everything into themselves. And you get this sea of them, and it'll just eat you like bacterial piranha and turn you into them.
Oh wow! Almost like a horde of ants.
Yeah, but they're microscopic, and they'll devour everything really quickly, and it's almost just turn into the gray dust or something. That would be a horror movie.
That would be good. Dude, you're a writer. You need to write a treatise and send that in.
I'm not that kind of a writer.
Well, you could be. I think you would do great. Dude, if I can write Suwawa and send that in, you could do this one for sure.
I don't have the time.
I know. That's the problem. There is no time.
In fact, I think we're out of time.
And in fact, yes. I was just looking at the clock, and I'm going, you know what? Ironically, I think that we have used up all our time for this episode.
Tell you what, if any of you out there have really good ideas or things you want to see in horror or science fiction that haven't been done, and go to our Facebook page. Go to zombiebeach.com. And there's a link to our Facebook, and you could leave comments and follow us and all sorts of fun things there. Or you could leave comments and stuff on our blog. even though that's kind of like old-fashioned now. Everybody wants to do everything on Facebook.
But we would appreciate some comments. I mean, and in fact, what would you like to hear us talk about? I mean, Jerry and I could sit around and do this all day, but we know that you ultimately are the ones who download this and sit and listen to us ramble on about absolutely nothing.
If you guys want us to watch something, Dan and I will both watch it and give you our thoughts on it. How's that?
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah, we would totally do that. So come up with some suggestions, and we'll watch it, and we'll lambaste it, kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That would be fun.
Actually, that would be fun, although I think they have that trademark now.
Yeah, they got that.
Riff Tracks, I think is what they call it.
Market cornered, yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you, dear listeners, for listening to us go on and on about old friends and zombie movies and horror films and the demise of the horror industry. So yeah, send us your thoughts and comments on our Facebook page. You can find us just by going onto Facebook and typing in Zombie Beach. We should be the first one that pops up. But if not, whoever you talk to will have no idea what you're talking about. And go to our webpage, which is www.zombiebeachpodcast.com, and leave us a message.
Yeah.
Or just leave us alone. We don't care, either or.
If you're listening to us on Facebook, could you do us a favor and go like us or comment us or whatever happens on... Wait, did I say Facebook? I meant iTunes.
We are on iTunes.
Yeah, if you're listening to us on iTunes, could you go give us a good review, please?
Leave a comment, because I only think we had 12 last time I looked.
Do we even have comments or reviews?
There are some comments, yes.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
you can tell how often I go into iTunes.
Same here. So yeah, go on Facebook and like us. Go on iTunes. Just like us in general, will you please? Send it to your friends. Send it to your family. Just don't send it to the FCCA.
Yeah, that might be bad.
We'd appreciate that, because I don't need them coming to my house.
Yeah, not after last time.
Yeah, like the last time. Yeah. That charge is still pending. So that's all we got for this episode. Keep on listening, and we'll be back next time with a whole nother show about nothing. So this is Dan Ledbetter and my good friend Jerry Davis saying goodbye, and try not to get eaten by anything. Yeah, stay one step without that too. That sounded more like a zombie than your first noise. This is like this, this laid back Southern California zombie.
It's a surfer zombie. Surf's up brains.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.